It is indeed a good morning right here at Icon Radio, number one intimate plug. Hey, hey, hey! Good morning, good morning. It is indeed a Thursday, and of course, you know that Thursday feeling, of like the week is about to come to an end. Although I don't know what it usually means for you. For me, it just means more work over the weekend. But we are grateful to be able to work and to live and do life because for sure we cannot take it for granted. It is the 2nd of February, and a lot is lined up for today. A lot. So be sure to stick it here at Icon Radio because you do not want to miss out on all the entertainment that's coming your way because it is guaranteed. All right. First of all, let me tell you, as what are they called? As raspy voiced people. For those of you who are like me, who have very raspy voices, how do you manage? First of all, on those phone calls, listen, big shout out to my Uber driver this morning called Josephat. Big shout out to you because I was talking to him. I said, "What's up?" He said, "Poor, poor, bro." I was like, "Where? Please, hey, no, can we start again, please?" Bro, ni nani? Why did he make such an assumption? I was like, "See, bro, this is okay." I was about to go and notch higher so he could come correct. He was like, "Oh, pole, 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 unenda happy." Eh, let me tell you, even I'm talking on the phone to these customer care guys for these telecom companies. They're like, "How are you, sir?" I'm like, "Who, sir? I beg. Please. Ask. Name first. Name first. We don't all sound the same. It's the same way all black people don't look the same. We don't, us raspy voice people don't all sound the same. So please just ask somebody's name first before saying sir or bro. I know my voice is kind of deep, but please have the courtesy, please, to ask first." That is my rant of the day. Let's get into the breakfast weather. All right. Today morning, going into 8 a.m., it's at 18 degrees, humidity at 60%. It's looking like it's going to be a hot day for Nairobi. For Mombasa, it's at 25 degrees, intermittent clouds, humidity at 88%. It's going to get hot, hot, hot for you guys at 33 degrees. And in Kisumu, 19 degrees. Sunny, humidity at 73%. It's going up to 32 degrees later on today. But remember, no matter where you are, no matter the weather, you'll always have a great day with Icon Radio. All right, brothers and sisters, we'll definitely be taking a look at the news making the headlines today. A lot has been happening as of yesterday, so a lot to unpack, as well as about that adulting content later between 8 and 9 a.m. So keep it here. And of course, you can highlight us on our WhatsApp number. That's +254 788 380030, as well as any of the Icon Radio K platforms. That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, where we are live. That's youtube.com/@ Icon Radio KE and www.iconradio.co.ke. Follow, like, subscribe. You know the spiel. Of course, I'm on Nyar Fox on Instagram, Twitter at Maloba. So please follow, and I'll definitely follow back. The hashtags to follow are The Breakfast Jam, Afropunk Queen, Icon Radio, and Icon Radio KE. Let's get straight into your throwbacks and start this morning off on a high, high, high note. Good morning, brothers and sisters. My lines are absolutely open. And we are definitely getting into the news. That was Spotty Thieves with No Pigeons. Woof. Listening to those words, I'll be like, ouch, where they gotta go so low. It was definitely a worthy trade-off with TLC's no scrubs. All right, let's take a look at the news right quick that are making the headlines. First of all, I'm just gonna start off with a little bit of this. As in, first of all, what is going on in this country? I always ask this question and I never understand what's happening. I'm sure you've seen the viral video by now of these teachers who have been out there behaving very badly. First of all, I think now phones with video need to be banned in schools because schools are very sensitive. Anything that you record about a child is just akin to something that is not good. In this particular case, I call it, yeah, I call it child porn because I find it's simulation. Anything that relates to simulation of sex is porn in itself. Now, anger has arisen as 6 teachers held over viral sex video of pupils in Kisii. Now, police in Kisii are holding 6 teachers from Itube DOK, rather primary school, following a viral video that emerged online depicting minors engaging in indecent behavior. Now, Nyamachi Sub-County Police Boss Kip Kule said he was liaising with the County Director of Education on what action they can take after the video sparked concerns from Kenyans on what children were being taught in school. He says, I've seen so many people sending me the video and tagging me. Sujui ata niseme nini. This is a school in my home area. I really do not know what if they are, that's really wrong English, but what if they are teaching these boys ama sujui ni demonstration ya nini hii. I wonder which subject inaweza kuwa ama iko kwa CBC. Very horrible conversation right there. But yes, that was part of the message posted by Sami Ondimu Ngare. Now, according to the police, the 6, Evelyn Mora, Gladys Kenyanya, Angelicia Joseph Mora Nyairo, Catherine Mokaya, and William Isoka were arrested after the Ministry of Education officials in the county, led by Nyamache Sub-County Director Lynette Onduso, visited the school after receiving the clip. In the video that had sparked public uproar, the young boys in school uniform were compelled by their teachers to commit an indecent act while lying on top of each other as the teachers laugh out loud in the background. Now, in the 29 seconds video clip, 4 young boys are seen trying to imitate sex, or rather how sex is done, and they are in pairs. And in the clip also, voices of the 3 teachers, 1 male, 2 female, are heard. They are seated outside on plastic chairs with 1 female teacher covering her legs with green clothing. They seem entertained by the people's act and they threaten to beat them should they not demonstrate them. Now, they spoke in Kisii, but loosely translated, it says, you two do it fast and show us. I did not want to beat you, but you're forcing me to do so. The county police boss wondered why the teachers had decided to humiliate the children by recording such a video and posting it. They said, we have confiscated their phones. We questioned them and they told us that 1 people had reported them about what they were doing, reported to them rather about what they were doing at break time, that they only wanted them to demonstrate to them what they were doing. So if I get the story right, it would seem that these kids were, trying to reenact something that they must have seen at home or on a video, because kids nowadays are way too exposed. You're finding kids in class 1 and class 2 trying to have, sex in toilets and stuff like that. That story has been rampant through the years. So it would seem one of these children came to report what was happening during their break time. And instead of the teachers getting to the base of it and finding out and reprimanding, their way or their way of handling it was to instead let these kids simulate exactly what was being reported, which is absolutely disgusting. Now, he continued that they will seek indulgence of the Ministry of Education for appropriate action. Now, the ministry officials are the ones to tell us what to do. We are questioning all the teachers at that school. 5 of them are female, 1 is male. The ministry will guide us on what may be possible. We are also aware that we cannot afford to paralyze the learning at that school. Yes, you can. What? There are thousands of teachers who can substitute. There are thousands of teachers who are there waiting to just get a job. Get rid of those clowns and get some other guys in there, please. There's nothing like a T. We cannot afford to paralyze learning at school. That means that you are somehow, saying that it's not okay, but, for the sake of education, let's just let them have a pass. No. That is perverse behavior. First of all, to even just make them do it and then record it. Listen, my friends. Yes. Let's get it straight. That is kiddie porn. It cannot be allowed. Get out here. Please, you cannot afford. Get substitute teachers. If there aren't any, it's time that the school education instituted such a thing, because it's needed for times like these. Do not allow those teachers back in that school. And for the people who are continuing to circulate that video, you be mumu. Stop. Just stop it. Stop circulating that video. It's kiddie porn. Anything that is of a sexual act or simulates a sexual act is kiddie porn. Stop it. Just stop it. All right. Moving on swiftly, we do have the curious case of Frida Warau, who was found in the Juja Dam next to her alleged lover. Now, it was said that she has been laid to rest, and she was actually her father's favorite. And she also aspired to be a televangelist. Now, more on this story. Frida Warau Kamuyu, who is 23, who died on January 17th in Juja's Titanic Dam, was buried on Wednesday in an emotional send-off at her parents' home in Mjiku village, in Muranga County. She died tragically with her lover, Tirus Maina Kiro, 39, when his vehicle slid into the dam. They had gone to the site that revelers have been frequenting since 2020. Police records indicate that they died around 10 p.m. with the post-mortems revealing they drowned. Now, armed police officers from Kamacharia police station kept watch during the well-attended burial. They had instructions from the family to ensure there was no media coverage of the burial. Frida was born to Mr. Chris Kamuyu and Miss Grace Ruguru and had 4 sisters and a brother. Neighbors mourned her as a jovial, well-meaning and determined young woman who became a born-again Christian when she was 13. Now, she said they lost, Alice Njoki, who's 24, said, I remember her as my classmate who, while in class 7 at Kagwanja Primary School, told me she aspired to one day become an international televangelist. She said they lost touch after they did their KCP exam in 2014. She said to have gone to Butere Girls High School in Western Region, where she cleared in 2019. Alice, the friend, said, it's very sad. I'm sorry. Her resting story is so different from the girl I knew who wanted to be a televangelist. Now, Frida had graduated in November last year with a diploma in hospitality management from Missouri Institute in Thika Town. She was baptized in the Anglican Church of Kenya in 2006, but an elder said beyond the baptismal We have no further details. We have no evidence that she was attending church. The rest is about her and her God. Neighbors spoke of a girl who was her father's favorite, and she was always talked of fondly by him. Her elder sister, Mary Kamuyu, who worked in Saudi Arabia and couldn't attend the burials, had her tribute read by a friend. She said, "My sister, it is well. I especially remember the way you loved chapati, how children in our family loved you. I will always love you as I always have. And I will keep our covenant of conversations true to heart." Our relative, Mr. Charles Maina, welcomed people to the burial, saying death has many routes to claim its victims, and our Frida's route was, as you have heard, we have accepted. It's very interesting to me how, just last week, the police had to go hunting for her family to claim her. Very interesting to me. And looking at pictures of this burial, the whole village came out. Literally, the entire village came out to witness her burial and give testimony to who she was. I think we've talked about this with a few friends about in regards to various burial practices between different communities. And one is that, for different communities, it's very different. But for the Kuyu community, like they put everything aside, literally everything, and they will put money in, they will put time in, and they will be there to pay their respects, regardless of whatever has happened. Whether the person was good, but bad, whether there was a story to be told or not, um, whether there was animosity or not, whether they had money or not, they would come through. And it's reminiscent here. It clearly looks like everything was put aside, scandals or not, and the entire community came out to support this family and lay her to rest. But it still puzzles me how nobody claimed her until the police looked for the family. Anyway, on that note, let us get back into the music and come back with the last bit of the news as MPs are in an uproar over journalists' dressing. Louis Armstrong with What a Wonderful World. Beautiful, beautiful music coming out of Ica Radio this morning. Let's look at the last a bit of the news, and I'd love you guys to weigh in, especially on how different communities treat death and burials. I'm very, very curious. I got this from, about the Kikuyu community from some friends. So it's alleged. It may not be the entire Kikuyu community. It cannot be boxed into one. But I'd love to know, like, what are some of the things that you hold true and some of the things you'd be willing to put aside, especially when somebody has passed away. Very, very curious to know. All right. Now it would seem that there is a couple who gave birth to 5 babies. Now, there was excitement at the Nakuru Level 5 hospital after a 25-year-old woman gave birth to 5 babies. Miss Margaret Wairimo from Maili Sita, Maili Sita, look at me, I'm talking like a jungle, from Maili Sita in Bahati sub-county, could not hide her joy after delivering 4 girls and 1 boy safely through an operation. Now, the mother and all the babies are safe, though the infants will stay in incubators for at least 2 months before they are discharged. What is going on? Now, when Mr. Simon Dungu Kinyanjui took his wife to the maternity wing of the Nakuru Level 5 hospital on Friday last week, he thought that they were going for a normal checkup and returned home. However, after examination, the doctors noted that his wife, Miss Warimo's pregnancy was of high risk, suggesting that she be admitted to the facility for further examination. The 28-year-old Matatu driver said he left his wife behind and the two could communicate with relatives visiting to check on her. They kept updating Mr. Kinyanjui whenever he missed going to the hospital. 4 days later, Mr. Kinyanjui received the delightful news through a relative that his wife had given birth to quintuplets, 4 girls and 1 boy. According to Mr. Kinyanjui, it was a surprise because they were expecting triplets. When we went for a scan, we were informed that my wife will give birth to triplets. This was not our first pregnancy. Our firstborn daughter is age 4. I thank God for these bundles of joy. I plead with well wishers or the county government to help me raise them. It's a huge challenge for me, he pleaded. Now, the family will need more than 2,000 a day to cater for milk, pampers, food, and fruits for the mother, which her husband cannot afford single-handedly. Mr. Kinyanjui traced their love story back to 2011 when they met while studying at Goshen Secondary School, and the two fell in love despite still being students. He said that they, however, went separate ways when he proceeded to Nairobi after securing employment, and Ms. Warimo joined Nakuru Teachers Training College. Now, Dr. Miners, who was administering to the baby, said that they were of low weight and immature, especially the organs, and were taken to the specialist baby units for further management, adding that the mother is in stable condition. He noted that in quintuplet cases, there are 2 aspects. One egg is fertilized and one breaks into many, whereby they have 1 placenta, and other times 2 or 3 eggs fertilized and then have one of them break into several babies. Quintuplets. I can only imagine carrying 5 babies, let alone 1. Where 1 is heavy. 5, well done, ma'am. Well done. And I saw a picture of, the dad, looking over here, trying to, appeal to well wishers. So I do hope they come through because, first of all, raising 1 child is not easy. That, let me tell you, is an investment in itself. By the time you're raising 5 at once, it's going to be quite a journey. So whoever can rally around this family and, help them with this blessing, for sure, let's rally around them. Lastly, MPs berate scribes over dress code and want them banished from the House, scribes being the press. Now, some members of the National Assembly have revived the push to kick out journalists from covering House proceedings due to a myriad of issues, including what they termed as a poor dress code and misreporting of the news. This follows media reports of how they splurged millions of shillings in seminars in top hotels in Mombasa despite calls for austerity. Now, the 349 strong National Assembly flew to Mombasa, booked themselves in a beach hotel for a week at taxpayers' expense, but boycotted the induction workshop that took them there to protest delays in the disbursement of constituency development funds. Now, Kitui South MP Rachel Nyamai yesterday singled out young journalists with poor dress codes, calling out the National Assembly to in on them. She spoke at the ongoing National Assembly post-election seminar at the Pride in Paradise Resort in Mombasa County. She defended her remarks, saying that there seems to be a gap between the way Parliament conducts itself in terms of the way people dress and the big team of journalists that we have. Is there a way that we can have a conversation with our leadership? This is especially with the young journalists who can up their game on their appearance because it's a big concern. Now, Media Council of Kenya CEO David Omoyo assured that the MPs rather that he would pass the message to the media houses, saying even State House has a dress code. Now, the MPs were condemned by the Nation Media Group Planning and Research Editor and former chair of Kenya Parliamentary Journalists Association, Miss Roslyn Obola. And she especially accused them of, talking poorly about the journalists' dressing. She said there are laid down rules globally in Parliament on dress codes. Parliament are orderlies at the gate, has orderlies rather at the gate, who, if you are not dressed properly, will not allow you access not only for journalists but even MPs. I've never heard any MP raising a concern about a journalist dressing. This is a witch hunt. She urged MPs to address their concerns using the right channels, including the Kenya Parliamentary Journalists Association, which works closely with parliamentary leaders. She goes on to say, going to a retreat and bashing the media is uncouth. Parliament is a public institution that any Kenyan is allowed to access. Ms. Bala said the politicians cannot control the information that they want the media to tell the public. Yes, for sure. If they've been caught behaving badly and they don't want it to come out, that is their problem. They need to pull up the act. But dress codes, for sure, you cannot be allowed into, I think, almost any public institution if you have not dressed appropriately, much less Parliament. So for sure, you better come up with a better one. Yeah. All right. Sorry. Let's get back into the music as we show love for the 254 exactly at 8 a.m. When we come back, we'll be looking at that adulting content. Let's look at what we'll be talking about in this next hour. And of course, you can weigh in on +254 788 380030. That is our WhatsApp number on any Icon Radio K social platforms. Keep it here. He was just here last week. That was Kitusua and Sahi. Ah, man. Always, always, always a banger. That was one well put together track. As we show love for the 254 right here on The Breakfast Jam. I'm your girl, Mariam Mello with the Afropunk Queen, streaming live on www.iconradio.co.ke and youtube.com/@iconradioke. Please subscribe, and of course, hit that comment section and just wait the conversation today. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all at Icon Radio KE. And you can follow me on Nyar Fox, Instagram, Twitter at Maloba. I'll definitely follow back. You can also follow our pages as well. And then the hashtags are The Breakfast Jam, Afropunk Queen, Icon Radio, and Icon Radio K. Let's take a quick look at the weather. 23 degrees, mostly sunny going into 9 a.m. Humidity at 57%. Gonna be a hot day. Nairobi gonna be a hot day. In Mombasa, 28 degrees, mostly sunny. Humidity at 72%. We're going up to highs of 33 degrees later on today. In Kisumu, it is going to be 24 degrees, going into 9 a.m., mostly sunny. Humidity at 57%. And also looking like a hot day for you guys, going up to highs of 32 degrees later on today. But remember, no matter where you are, no matter the weather, you'll always have a great day with Icon Radio. All right, let's get straight into my favorite part of the week, which is that adult content. For sure, you can weigh in on our WhatsApp number. That's +254 788 380. We're definitely all about them Kenyan throwbacks right here on the Breakfast Jam between 8 and 9 a.m. And guess what we're also all about? We're all about that adulting content where we're just talking about all things that affect us as adults, especially in Kenya. Now, there's always these issues about Ben 10 this, Ben 10 that, Ben 10, Ben 10, Ben 10. Like, I think I told you last year, on Fridays, if you head on over to a particular hotel in Upper Hill, scattered across the deck is all manners of cougars and young boys. It is a very, very interesting sight to see. Like literally, I would go there just on Fridays just to go and just sit there, just watch. Like you had National Geographic just to see how they interact, how they move, what's happening, what they could be talking about. Because these women come decked out. And these boys come out, in their two lucus. They're coming out in their two lucus and, they're there to keep company. And it's a mainstay. Like, it's a thing that actually happens there. It's so interesting to see. You can see a wide smile on my face if you're watching on YouTube. Just because of the fact that the narrative has changed. The narrative has changed, people. It has stopped being a thing to be talked about in whispers. It stopped being a thing of shame. And the tables have turned slightly. It used to be mubabas and young girls, but now, the cougars are doing their thing, and I'm low-key proud. I don't know why, but I'm low-key proud. I'm like, yes, woman, get yours. But anyway, it's a the classic tale of girl meets boy, falls in love, gets married, builds a home, raises a family, and lives happily ever after. This is the stereotypical fairy tale that we are accustomed to. Often the girls will be fresh-faced, clear-eyed, and full of vigor, and the boy will be older with a bag full of ambition and ready to conquer the world. This may be the classic Cinderella story, but it's not always the case. There's not one size fits all when it comes to relationship. Now, relationships are a mixed bag. Online dating has expanded the scope of available men and women who are interested in dating. There are dating sites that even specifically focus on age gap relationship. Why do you keep saying relationship? Relationships. If the age difference isn't a factor for those looking to date, these dating sites may give people more dating opportunities, such as dating a sugar mommy. Now, today we speak of one such relationship, those of younger men, often referred to as Ben10's, dating older women labeled in Kenya as momamas, sugar mummies, and elsewhere in the world as cougars. What is it about older women? Why would a young man in his 20s choose to date a woman who is twice his age? Do all these relationships confirm to the stereotypical view that the man is after a soft life? Now, according to Florence Warimu, a counseling psychologist and life coach, cases of young men dating older women has increased in the modern age. Now, their reasons range from the fact that these women are mature, motherly, responsible, and are made in their career and life in general. Unfortunately, most of these men and women have other relationships and hence increasing the risk of sexually transmitted infections. Now, here comes the psychologist just putting a pin in that balloon, but yes, it is indeed an actual fact that needs to not go unnoticed. Now, in a previous article, that was shared by this psychologist, the thoughts and experience of women who date younger men, it's time to let the men speak for themselves. One important question that was asked was what the men felt an older woman has to offer. Now, here are some answers which are clear, articulate, and to the point. However, it is important to note that in all relationships, regardless of age difference or gender, partners have their reasons of engaging in the relationship. So one of them is, I don't get along with women my own age. Here's a case study of Alex Otieno, a fourth year university student in his late 20s who currently is dating a woman, a businesswoman, in fact, in her 50s. He says, I like to have conversations that go deeper than the surface level. And most of the women I've dated in my age group are always busy staring at their phones, or they are non intellectual and therefore mentally unstimulating, or both. I don't regret meeting my sugar mommy, as he calls her, who is in her early 50s, 4 years ago in a club. Now, mine was love at first sight, and I admired how her face was glowing and her body well toned despite her age. I was captivated by her smile and maturity. I remember telling my friends that I wouldn't mind spending hours talking to her. I loved how she interacted with me when I said, hey, and I kept telling her how beautiful she is. But I'm old enough to be your mother. I'm in my 50s, she kept saying. I couldn't believe it until she showed me her ID. She was reserved, like other girls of my age that were busy dancing with every man on the dance floor. What's wrong with that? Anyway, when the party ended, we exchanged contact, and since then, we always engage in different subjects ranging from love, politics, religion, and career. Surprisingly, she mirrors my mom's complexion and character, and I think that this unconsciously attracted me to her. She's my confidant, and I admire her how she also confides in me. Her 15-year-old marriage has not been a walk in the park, as she often shares how her husband neglects her emotionally and sexually because of his work schedule as a businessman. Travels globally. The sex life is affected as they go for months without getting intimate. Though she has tried to solve the issue with her husband, he always tells her that she should be understanding of this job schedule and appreciate the few times they spend time together. Her two children in their early 30s have also been affected because they grew up rarely seeing their dad. He says, since we met, I've always been there for her, and I can't regret meeting her emotional and sexual needs. We often do HIV tests to ensure we are both safe. Yeah. And I think we talked about this yesterday with therapist Tazim Elkington. And then the pressures of life nowadays are just keeping couples further apart. This need to maintain a certain lifestyle, this need to maintain a certain digit in your bank account, this need to, be that model of success has driven couples to actually not really interact and see each other. And all they talk about is just that, business, money, and they don't have time for each other. Therefore, people are out there looking for other ways to, be happy, get satisfaction, be in a good place with themselves, feel good about themselves. And there are a lot of women, like I said, out there who are now seeking for their younger speaking of Bambaing Vimeja, that was flex. And that's exactly what the Ben10's in this city are talking about. They're like, listen, the people who bambas me right now is an older woman, is a sugar mommy. But who would call that person a sugar mommy? Like, if I had a Ben10, I wouldn't like you calling me a sugar mommy, okay? I might be sugary, but a sugar mommy, no. We didn't want that. Like, to be very honest, I don't know. Maybe it's a connotation of the name that probably, as in, just doesn't, really. But anyway, to each their own. So we're talking about the reasons why Ben10s are gravitating more towards women of the older generation. Earlier we looked at somebody who said, listen, I just need somebody of substance in my life. There's nothing to talk about with these younger girls who are my age. Therefore, I'm not feeling it. One other person with another kid said, he says, I have found a mother figure in her. Yes. So James Kulola, second year university student in his early 20s, dating a psychologist in her mid 40s, says, I count myself as a lucky man because I met a humble and nurturing woman. The woman is in her mid 40s and is a close friend of my aunt. I met her in 2020 at my niece's wedding, and my lover's son is currently studying abroad. We have kept the affair private and we have assured each other never to disclose it to anyone. My lover is a single mother of one, and the child is my age mate. I recall her approaching me and requesting me to start an affair as she desperately needed a younger lover. At first, I didn't think this would work because I had not dated an older woman before. Plus, she was a close friend of my aunt who happens to have raised me. I met my lover while I was healing from a breakup. My ex had cheated on me with a wealthy man rather in his 60s, or a mubaba. I was broken and I thought I would never love again. He says, I accepted my mama's proposal half-heartedly, but soon after, I was glad I made the decision to be with her. My partner is one of a kind to me, and she is kind to me also, and we have fun and adventures together on weekends. I have disclosed our affair to my aunt, and when she finds me in her house, she assumes I am there for parental guidance because the woman is a counselor by profession. Since I met her, my life has changed. I'm emotionally stable. She also asked my aunt if she could also step in and pay for my school fees, since my aunt has been struggling to do so, and she agreed. My partner has also expressed that just in case she gets pregnant, she will proudly raise a child. The question we have is, how will we disclose our affair to those close to us? It's a question we keep revisiting and we cannot keep it private forever. I don't have plans to settle down yet, but meanwhile, I'm enjoying my life with my lover. Now, there's always a thing of trying to replicate your parents in your partner. We women always say at some point we married our fathers. When you find traits in your husbands or your partner that mimic that of your father and you grew up knowing. Now, for some of these Ben10 cases, they want that feeling of, being nurtured, being taken care of, just as a mother would. And sometimes that correlation can be in that relationship, and they would like things to be done a certain way as if their mother was doing it for them. So here's a guy with a 60-year-old, and he finds comfort in the fact that she does treat him like his mother would. Ooh, quite an interesting one, that one. Another one says, I am doing it for money. James Mwangi, who's 30, works in customer care and is who's a customer care representative, dating a company director in her 50s. He says, I am the firstborn in a family of two. I grew up in extreme poverty as my parents couldn't afford basic needs, and so school fees was a problem. Luckily, I got a scholarship to pursue a degree in computer science 6 years ago. After the excitement of graduation went down, I was soon left to face the grim reality that is joblessness. Due to frustrations, I became bitter and started looking for mamas that would help me to pay my bills. Nature has a way of giving you what you want. And in 2019, I began the search on Facebook and I joined a group that helps you meet sugar mommies. I interacted with a few of them, but somehow my heart clicked with my current lover because she agreed to give me her number. Unlike others who only requested for nude photos. Where does this happen? At first, I didn't know how this would turn out, but I was ready for anything that would make my life better. On the first date was our first date rather was in 2020 in a hotel, as we thought this was a safe space as we were yet to know each other. When I shared with her my life struggles, she assured me of her support, and true to her word, after 6 months, she got me a job in the company where she works as a director. She also rented me a house where we meet. She has kept the affair away from her daughter, who is getting married soon. And most of my friends know she is my aunt, and she always introduces me to her friends. My parents don't know the life I am living in the city, and they assume their son is doing well in life as I always support them financially. I would want to settle down in future, but unfortunately, she told me when I marry, I will surrender everything she has invested in me as she wouldn't want me to enjoy her wealth with other women. I did this out of desperation, and unfortunately, I don't have time for women my age. Though I am getting everything I want, this is not the life I am proud to have. Questions still linger. How will this end? How will I get out of this? At times, I feel like a toy boy as the woman demands for so much time and I have to be there for her sexually. There are times I see beautiful women my age and I lust for them, but I feel it's too late to change the script. Listen, if this woman is supporting you, giving you money, save, 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 save. If you're not happy with the situation and you both know what you're getting yourselves into, be smart. Be smart about it. Put up a savings account. Set up a fund to buy a smaller, even if it's a studio apartment or a one bedroom. Just be smart about it so that you can now get out of a situation. No situation is permanent. Especially if you want to change it, then do just that. Don't just sit there and sulk and say, what am I supposed to do? I don't know how to get out of the situation. You can if you want to. Will yourself to. And just get out of those, get away from the comfort zone. Right? But I still want to know, which page is this that women ask for nudes? What? That is absolutely news to me. Let me tell you, I think I've been out of the dating scene way too long. Okay, I'm married, but out of the dating scene way too long. And clearly, the dating scene has really changed. Really changed. Well, anyway. All right. Lastly, we're looking at another case study of a man who says, I am attracted to a woman who has some degree of self-possession. Now, John Kamara, who is 36, who's a businessman, is dating a businesswoman in her mid-50s. He says, I met my lover in 2018 at a party planned by some friends. When I saw her, I thought she was just the perfect woman for me, and my gut instinct was sure about that. I loved how she carried herself. She was calm, confident, and composed, and that captured my attention. I wasn't looking for an older woman, and she wasn't looking for a younger man, but it just happened. Our relationship is unique because it's not built on sex, but on respect, trust, and love. She's a single mother of one child who is in her 20s. And she always narrates how the divorce from her ex-husband 7 years ago traumatized her and she vowed never to be married again. She is my confidant and can share anything without feeling judged. We have a lot in common. For instance, we are both morning people and nearly always in a good mood. We are both hardworking and focused with many hobbies in common. In our 5 years together, we have never had a serious problem and we are very happy. It has been hard disclosing our affair to her daughter because we don't know how this will turn out. We fear how the daughter will take it, and so she always introduces me as her business partner. She is a best friend who validates to me that I am a good person, which builds my self-esteem and confidence. She stimulates me mentally with her sharp intellect, and I feel very relaxed around her. I'm not sure if I can compare her with any other woman, and hence I don't have plans to end the affair even when I settle down. I find this relationship more fulfilling, and I don't mind sharing my body with her. The only reason I wouldn't want to settle down with another lady is to have children with a woman my age. So for him, it's that she is there for him and boosts his self esteem. Even if she can be a bit possessive, it sounds of like she makes me feel good about who I am. And sometimes somebody just looks for that. They feel like they they need somebody who uplifts them, and that helps them in their scope of work. They're looking at life, and they're thinking like this could be a good person for me for now as I try and build myself in my young age. So yes, it's very very interesting to see the different aspects of this, but especially the dating thing in Kenya. It's has really really changed. Or is it me who lives on a rock? I don't know. Let me know. I would love to know from you guys. What is the current dating scene, and what is the scope of it in this day and age, in the, let's say, in the 2020s, in this decade? How does it look like? Is it really truly where, things have evened out and women are now, or are currently kind of like, doing the same thing that men would mostly be perceived to do, like asking for nude pictures? It's quite interesting for me, and I'd love to know from you. Please let me know on +254 I'd love to know your thoughts on this. You guys always crack me up with whatever you have to contribute to the conversation, and of course, in this particular case, I again would still just love to know what are your thoughts. We can also chop it up on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/@iconradio.k. Just hit that comment section, and for sure we can get into this conversation. But we are officially into the next hour, and we are going to be taking in your requests. Let me know what you would like to get played, and I'll definitely play it for you. And we'll be looking at some of the news making the headlines this week in entertainment. Keep it right here on the Breakfast Jam. Young Jock with that massive throwback for the law school. That was It's Going Down. For sure, it's going down right here on Icon Radio. Today is just going to be full of massive activity. We're going to be having the vault coming up next in the next hour. So stand by for that. You know, it's always vibes when they come through. And Jirongo is promising somebody new who's coming in to, Let's start with the playlist, Kidogo. So let's see how that goes. All right. We also have Sai Sandabi and Nafsi Huru coming in with the latest amazing addition to the scene. That's Doe. And he's going to be coming in heavy. His tracks are massive. So if you want to get in tune of what he sounds like, be sure to check out Sudo Dos on Instagram before the show comes on. And of course, we have that chart list, which you need to be following and vote. For now, as it stands, the track that is highly being voted for by the fans is Murife Ran. And it's by, wait, hold on. So Murife by Moose is currently really being voted for. It's currently reigning at the top. So if you want to vote for your favorite and be heard, be sure to send us on our WhatsApp number. That's +254-788-380030 and get on that chart. All right. We are taking a look at some of the entertainment headlines making the news today. But before that, let me just mention the weather real quick. In Nairobi at 25 degrees, going into 10 a.m., 50% humidity. It's going to be hot. It's already hot. I can feel it already. And in Mombasa, 30 degrees going into 10 a.m., partly sunny, humidity at 65%. Hot day for you guys as well. Kisumu, 25 degrees, mostly sunny, humidity at 53%. Hot, all across the board. But remember, no matter where you are, no matter the weather, you'll always have a great day with Icon Radio. All right, guys, this is the most, depending on how you look at it, devastating and happy news at the same time. I just wish it was here, it was happening here, but Idris Elba is set to open a film studio in Tanzania, and unfortunately, my people, not in Kenya. Why?
Emotional damage.
I'm telling you, as people who are over here, just always, and I'm sorry, babe, always drooling over Idris Elba. Let me tell you, over here, just feeling that emotional damage, because yes, it would have been nice if he did just, just bring it here so we could have his presence here. But yes, Idris Elba is setting up in Tanzania. Some of us will soon be relocating. You never know. Right now, Dar es Salaam, Hollywood actor Idris Elba has plans to invest in a major film studio. And the director of presidential communications, Zuhura Yunus, has revealed this story. Now, the plans come a few days after the British actor and humanitarian and his wife, Sabrina Elba, recently met and held talks with President Samia Suluhu Hassan at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. Now, Ms. Zuhura revealed the news while briefing journalists on Monday on the outcome of President Hassan's recent trip to Davos in Switzerland for the 53rd World Economic Forum annual meeting. Discussions on the project have just begun, and it's successful. The project will help not only Tanzania but also Eastern and Central Africa. Elba has a net worth of $40 million, according to the latest estimates. And in an interview with South Africa's SA People, the British movie star said he not only wants to make more films in Africa, but wants to help develop the film industry on the continent. The 49-year-old actor starred in the movie Beast, which has been entirely shot in South Africa, and revealed that he wants to pave the way for more major films to be made on the continent. Elba, whose mother and father hail from Ghana and Sierra Leone, respectively, told the newspaper, "I'm really keen on the development of Africa. My parents come from Africa, and more than anywhere in the world, I feel like that continent deserves some real tender care and love and thought. Young Africans view me as a leader or as a beacon, and I feel like I could bring something, so I'm keen to bring what I've learned in media and apply it in Africa." Elba is known for performing as Nelson Mandela in the biopic named Mandela: Long Walk to Freedom, which was released in the year 2013. Among his awards and honors, Elba has earned 4-time nominations for a Golden Globe Award for Best Actor Miniseries or TV Film. Now, apart from acting, Elba has also established his career as a musician and has performed as a DJ under the moniker DJ Big Briss, and as an R&B musician. He's just not doing it in Kenya. He's not doing it in Kenya.
Emotional damage.
We're all about that throwback therapy right here on the Breakfast Jam. And we're all about that entertainment news within this hour before we head out and get ready for the vault right now. It's the thing that's trending is Shafi Weru, and he seems to be back. And he is back with his own self-titled show named Shafted. And he's opening up on rejecting interviews after being fired. Now, Shafi resurfaced with his own show after a break of 2 years, revealing how he had been evading interviews ever since his firing. Speaking during the premiere of his show Shafted on Tuesday, January 31st, the celebrated radio host slammed Kenyan journalists for asking unnecessary questions during interviews instead of facing issues head on. It has been 2 years of soul searching. I have been approached by many people asking to interview me, but I believe in myself and no one can handle me as I expect. The last time I was interviewed, I felt the interviewer did not ask what I wanted to be asked. Shafi, however, noted that he only accepted one interview since the person who approached him meant a lot in his life. He said, I have done only one interview since I was fired just because she was someone I mentored into media. I helped her get a job, molded her from inside her. She came to Radio Africa and became the best and youngest editor of the Star magazine. Commenting on the current state of media, the legendary radio presenter renounced any chance of venturing into media because he viewed it as a dead mode of business. If today I was making a business plan, there is no way I can put money on TV or radio because you cannot afford the rates which are so high. A lot has changed. Rather, when we started, there was no other way of advertising. Then agents realized they are spending a lot of money in paying for adverts but making less, hence withdrawing from media. Addressing the current state of media that has been seeing mass layoffs, the ex-Homeboys presenter who made his name on Kiss 100 co-hosting the drive show with Kaleche Mume noted that the media was slowly dying. After losing his job, he fell into depression, which was later followed by a lonely life after his friends deserted him, as is normal with the media industry. Shafi was fired by Radio Africa, owned Homeboys Radio, on March 27, 2021, alongside his co-host Neville Musia and a popular disc jockey Joseph Monoru, alias DJ Joe Umfalme, over gender-based violence utterances. So, apart from the fact that he did make disgusting remarks, fame, quote-unquote, in Kenya is very tough. 1 minute you're up, the next minute when you're down, the people who are calling you for parties, who are calling you for drinks, who are calling you with their problems, you're hearing crickets from them after that is over. It is very, very sad and is very depressing. A lot of personalities have gone into depression. I am not surprised. And it can really weigh down on someone. So, could this be the return of Shafi? Probably not. But he says he will not make any investment into media, especially looking at the scope of it now and the way there have been massive layoffs and guys are not really getting paid. It's been a sad situation. Speaking of people leaving the media, we have Nazizi, who quit Vibes Radio after 3 years. Now, the radio presenter come renowned musician Nazizi Harji on Tuesday, January 31st, announced her exit from Vibes Radio after amassing 3 years at the station. Now, in a statement seen by the press and ourselves right here at Icon Radio, Nazizi announced that the Tuesday episode of Seas and Sekol would be her final show, bringing to a close her stint at the Mombasa Road-based media house. She lauded her fans and her colleagues for the support over the years. Sadly, my journey at Vibes Radio has come to an end. Tune in tonight for the very last show with the headmaster. The last 3 years have been such a blessing to me. I am thankful we had the chance to show the world that a reggae show can be more than just silly jokes. The radio presenter, however, did not reveal her next course of action, but thanked her co-host, Sheriff Juma, popularly known as Musical Sheriff. To the Vibes Nation, thank you for reasoning with us. Thanks for tuning in and supporting Season Circle from day one, and I will truly miss you all. Positive vibes will keep going. The journey continues. To my brethren, Musical Sheriff, thanks for all the memories. You're the best co-host. I'll miss your jokes. Her departure from the media house marks the exit of another star as the company continues to trim its payroll. The recent mass firing and exits from the company spelled doom for the giant media as journalists such as Mercy Courier, news anchor Sharon Mwangi, seasoned foreign affairs editor Lillian Odera, seasoned journalist Franco Tenyo, and editor Ted Malanda tendered their resignations. Recent reports revealed that a section of the journalists that compelled sorry, let me read that again. Recent reports revealed that a section of the journalists was compelled to sleep at the offices as a result of the 3-month salary delay, which rattled the company. Recently, radio presenter Sheila Kwamboka announced her exit from Vibes Radio and unveiled that she would replace Kaminagara at Kiss FM at the station's breakfast show. The group chief operating officer, Martin Kafafa, affirmed that Kwamboka was a great addition to the team following her 20-year experience in the media industry. For real, it's a sad turn of events. It's not only the standard media group that are seeing problems, it's just across the board. It has been a difficult time as people try to transition into digital and trying to understand this new form of media. Yeah, so we do hope the best for our colleagues and counterparts, and of course we'll be looking out for what Shafi has next. All right guys, I gotta leave. I'll take a small break, then I'll come back with the boys on the vault. So keep it right here for hip hop and more as we take this Thursday up a higher notch. See you soon.